Hi everybody, it's Lita Forsyth, or Miss Lita as many of you call me. These are kind of hard times, and it's been an adjustment for everybody. I think that we have to remember we're all in this together, and we really have to trust God that He's in control, and this is all part of His plan. It's not an accident, so just remember that. So for many of you, we've been working on making a handmade journal. Kids at the field school, kids at Irving in Oak Park, and some of you at the Little Bits Workshop Friday Crafternoons. You're all at a different stage. Some of you are finished and you don't need to watch this video. Others of you are in the middle and you might have forgotten all the instructions. So we're going to start from the beginning. Let's look at this journal. This is where we're going. If you look at the sides right here, each folded section is called a signature. Now this style of bookbinding is called a kettle stitch. We are modifying the kettle stitch a little bit to make it easier for kids to make. So the very first step is to get some paper. This happens to be paper that was donated from a printer, so we're working with this size. You'll fold 9 or 12 sheets of paper. Now, this is cardstock. A real signature in a hardbound book is a little smaller, and it uses 4 pages. For this project, we're using cardstock so you can paint on it. So you're going to fold 9 of these if you want to do 3 signatures, and 12 if you want to do 4 signatures. You're going to fold the big stack, put it all together, all 12 sheets. Then you'll be putting them on a surface that you can poke holes into. I used centimeters for my measurement. You want to have an odd number of holes. So I centered the centimeters and we started about 1.5 centimeters from the edge. You can see right there is the first hole. So then I moved my ruler up to the first spot of 1.5 centimeters, and then we measured out every other centimeter, which means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. Now, if you have larger paper, it's fine to use inches, but the spacing of this worked better with centimeters. After I mark the holes, we use a tool called an awl. Sometimes it helps to clip these together, but you're pushing the awl all the way through, no pun intended, so that your point is going all the way through to the other side, and you want to make sure those holes go all the way through on the fold. Don't let them go off to the side. So you poke all of those in, 1, 2, 3. There should be 7 or 9 depending on your paper size. If you're working with paper that I gave you, probably this is a good measurement. Okay, so then you've got all 12 punched. Separate them into sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, and this will be 1 signature. The next step is to sew them together. Now, the amount of thread you need is 2 times the width of the book. Actually, this would be the height of the book. And then you're going to add 2 times what I like to call a tail. So twice the book, twice the tail. This is the length you need. So I'll pull that straight so you can see about how much. About this much thread for each signature. When you thread your needle, you'll just thread it so that you have a short tail and a long tail. No knot on the end for this project. Tie it once just to keep it from falling off while you're sewing. No knot. Start sewing from the inside. So you'll go in here. And this is really important. Leave a tail here. When we get back to this spot, we're going to need that to tie it closed. So you'll do a running stitch through the holes that you punched. If you have trouble, putting the needle through. Punch them again from the other side, make them really big so they're easy. Now the needle I'm using is a really big needle. This is not a sewing needle for quilting. This is an embroidery needle. Sometimes people use it to make tapestries. Come on, needle. Okay, so we're doing a running stitch that goes all the way down, back and forth. Keep that tail. And there's the last hole. Now we're going to come back up. You're going to make either 3 or 4 of these signatures, and then we're going to stitch them all together. So here's the first one. Now, see how I've got this tail left, and notice that I stopped right before the end so that I have a little gap right here. This is what you tie together. We're going to do something called a surgeon's knot, where you wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And that makes it so that you can pull it tight without having to put your finger on it and have 3 hands. Tie it one more time. Nice and tight. Cut it about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch. Don't cut it right up to the knot. Okay, so you're going to make 3 of those, or 4. You're going to clip them all together. This one is, I think, 3... Yep, 4. If you have clips like this, that's great. If not, you can use clothespins. These are nice because they fold in and get out of your way. I started this one already with the green thread. And also, I'm going to mention this. It's kind of fun to use different colors of thread so that you can see them. So you'll knot your thread same way with a little, oopsie. Well, maybe that'll stay on. Let's thread it again. Okay. Knot your thread once, not twice. Now when I started this, I did make a knot. So I went in through here, I came out and I stitched the stitches. I'm going to show you on the 3rd row, and all of these are exactly the same. When you come out, whether it's the beginning, the 2nd or the 3rd, or any of the other ones, you put your needle under the stitch. I'm going to save that little loop. Sometimes when we're sewing, we call it a pinky loop. Put your needle in the loop, pull it tight up to where the hole is. Then you're going to go to the next one, which is a little hard to see because it's a light color thread. See if I can get it. Yep. Stitch the stitch. Put your needle in the loop. Pull it nice and tight. You're going to do that to every single one of these holes on every single stitch. So here's the 3rd one. Pull it tight. And the 4th one. That was, okay, I think those are 2 together. We're going to skip that. Now after you get each row done, you go in that hole. Inside of the book. Now you'll notice when I clip these, I clipped it so that you can see the stitches on the end of each front and back. That's so I can go in there, poke through, and start another row. And you'll continue on each of these rows exactly the same. When you get to the end, you're just going to tie it to one of the stitches on the inside. Okay, so that's done. When it's done, you'll take the same size paper that we used for the book, fold it in half a couple of times. You can either cut it or tear it. I'm going to tear this. As long as you fold it really well, you can tear it. Go ahead like this. And then get some cloth. You need to cut your cloth for your covers about 3/4 of an inch larger than this piece of paper. Then you will take a glue stick, which I don't have right here. Okay, we're gonna pretend. So you put a glue stick all over this, and then you're going to lay it onto the cloth. I found my glue stick, 1 second. Let's do it for real. So put your glue all over this, and really make sure you get it all over the edges and the corners too. Okay. Lay it down. Move it out. Make sure it's centered. This is called mitering the corners. You want to cut it off without cutting your paper on all 4. Now you're going to put the glue on the edges, on the cloth, 4 sides. Paper and cloth. Pull it nice and tight. If it pops up, put more glue on it, like right there. Be generous with your glue. You'll do 2 of these, one for the front cover, one for the back cover. And then you'll put glue all over this one. Glue it here. Do another one on the back. And then you're done. Now, I think that a time like this in our world, a journal is a wonderful place to write your thoughts, draw some pictures. Sometimes it helps to process what's going on. Maybe you think about what you're feeling. Very quickly, I'm just going to show you some of the drawings in these. First, I'm going to give you some picture ideas. These are just doodles. Things that you can do in your journal. Little abstract designs. Let's call it a doodle a day. Did you doodle today? Maybe you like to do collage or painting. Some of these are watercolor, some are marker, some are a mix of everything. Use your imagination. If you have a new package of markers, this is a fun way to check out every color. If you have paints, test the colors, make a design. If you get up early in the morning, paint the sunset. Here's a collage idea. This is using magazines cut out and glued on into little houses. So there's an endless array of things you can do. If you are at the field school, what I'd love for you to do is do a little drawing every day. Maybe write something about your day. Maybe you did some cooking with your parents, cleaning, folding laundry. Maybe you just have a lot to think about. Do a little drawing. It doesn't need to take more than 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe if you need to write a lot of things, you can spend a little more time. All right, I think this will get you started, and it's a great project. I'd love to see what you do. Send me some emails and pictures. And I miss all of you. Hope to see you soon. Take care.